how Foo Café started is closely linked to my life here in Sweden. I'm an American, if you haven't guessed. So it's a personal story, as well as how Foo Café started. In 2010, my band, Panda Transport, performed at Ytterbrink. And as many of you know, Ytterbrink was the predecessor to Foo Café. It's a large event, happens over there in Slagthuset. So me and my bandmate, we performed there. And it was my first visit to Sweden, and I was super impressed. I thought it was an evolved society and everyone was super smart. I wasn't super honed in on the fact that I was at a developers conference with 1,000 really smart people. But I was touched and I felt a lot of enthusiasm. And I wanted to be a part of it. So I went back to my home in Charlottesville, Virginia, where I lived as a musician in a yurt in the forest. And as I was living there, I'd come back from Sweden, this desire started growing in me. And I really wanted to create another life. I wasn't sure what it was. I thought it should be in Sweden. And I knew it definitely involved loving somebody. And then lo and behold, I got contacted by Mikael, and he said, I want you to work for me. I want you to come to Sweden, and we're going to work on this new project I have. And this project was like a conference, but every day. So I thought, that's a really bold choice to want me for this job. So yes, of course I want to do this. I'm ready. I want to say yes to the universe. I'm going to move to Sweden. Early 2011 in April, I arrived on a Monday. I was at work at Ytterbrink on Tuesday. And I was facing a set of challenges that I was very unprepared for. The first one was, what's the business model of like a conference, but every day? I had never opened an Excel sheet. I had never made a budget before. I had never worked in a fucking office. But Mikael wanted me. He believed in me. So we got a book that said Business Model Generation, which involved putting up a lot of Post-its on the wall. Yeah, we got some Post-its on the wall. But there was work to be done on figuring this business model out. And the second challenge was, it was very important to Mikael that it be an independent meeting place. Now, Ytterbrink was housed with J-Way, which is a consultancy nearby. They didn't think so much of an independent meeting place because that didn't do a lot for their marketing. But it was very important to Mikael that it be an independent meeting place. And at this point, the working title of Foo Café was Hello World. So independence is a problem. And then there was another challenge, and this might have been the thing that really said, it's not going to work here. It has to be a place where people can get together and have a beer. I think J-Way thought, we're consultants. We're not in the business of getting like liquor licenses. And so one day, about 3 months after I started, Mikael's fired. So he takes his idea, Hello World, which at this point, we're thinking to call it Foo Bar, fucked up beyond repair. But I think Foo Bar was already taken by a bar in Thailand or something, so it's called Foo Café. And then, soon after, I got fired because I didn't really have much of a place there. But I did have a place in Sweden. I felt that. And so I just want to end this by saying, stick with your vision because it works, even when like there's no clarity and there are like heaps of unknowns. Follow that shit because it works. It really works. When you're stubborn and you're a bull and you're cool, you will find the way. And I'm a testament to that because I'm loving someone spectacular here in Sweden, and I'm really grateful for life. That's one thing I've learned since coming here. That's my story. And that's the beginning of Foo Café. And Esther is going to pick it up with what happens after you get fired and you have a big idea. So thank you all very much.
So, Foo Café for me started with Michael renting me by the hour. I was a really new software engineer at a consultancy company, and they didn't really have things for me to do all day. So they put me next to Michael to email all these cool persons that he wanted to bring to Öredev. And I was like, okay. So I wrote emails and I asked Michael, could you please check them before I send them? And he's like, yeah, that looks good. And he later told me that he didn't even glance at them. So obviously he believed in me. He often, when he tells the story about Foo Café, says that nobody believed in him. And in one sense that was true, but because then, in the eyes of those who were seen to be apt to judge if something like this would succeed or not, I was nobody. And I believed in Michael. I remember how you got fired. I remember how you visited South Africa to see if you should start a conference there. I remember sitting at my kitchen table, looking up if the domain Foo Café was available. That's important when you start a new company. And I remember lending you money before you could get your first salary. But now it works. And I think that when it started, we already then saw some key factors, that finding the people that not everyone believes in, that perhaps don't believe themselves that they can do things, are more important to us here at Foo Café than perhaps the one who are already established. Yeah, thank you.
So, a big difference from my talk from the rest of them is, if you heard from Michael talks, Jim just said, I believed in you. You heard Kathy saying, I believed in you. Then you said, I believe in you. The problem was, I didn't believe in Michael. In 2010 or something, I think it was, I started having discussions with Michael regarding, should we be a partner to Öredev? That was the beginning in our relationship. And after that, I had some thoughts. I like the part of Öredev being quite regional, a lot of speakers from the region, but they kind of lost that during the way, I think. So I talked to Michael, we need to do something to get more people involved from Malmö, Skåne, and the region. So what can we do? And we didn't really find anything, but a few months later, Michael came to me and said, I have this great idea, Martin. We're going to start kind of like a youth club. What does that have to do with Öredev? Yeah, but we're going to bring all the IT people in the region to that youth club. And they can stay there all evening, they can buy beers, have some pizza, and there will be talks all over the place. So whoever wants to listen to something can listen to it. It will never work, Michael. I do not believe in you. That was the first time I was wrong. So I apologize. I apologize to all of you who's here. If you listened to me, you wouldn't be here today. You started something amazing. It's been going on for 5 years. A few years ago, you came to me, Martin, I need some advice. I'm thinking about starting in Stockholm. Guess what I said? It won't work. Because you need another Michael Ytterbrink, and there is only one. That part was correct. But obviously, he was able to start it, and it works. So it's been going on for 5 years. Today I'm working in a company that I have together with a colleague. His name is Adam Thornhill. Some of you might know him. He started his journey here. One of his first talks was here. Then he went on, and today he's a keynote speaker all over the world. He's been to the States, all over Europe, everywhere. and he's just a fantastic speaker, and it started here, just in front of this screen. So Foo Café works, it's fantastic, and I was wrong, not only once, I was wrong twice. If you want to start a business with me again, I won't care whatever you say, I will say yes, I believe in you. Because you have the will, you have the power, you will do whatever it takes, and you did it. 5 years will become 10 and 15, there will be no end, as you said. And congratulations, and a huge apology. Thank you.